You are listening to the Booktrospective Podcast, a podcast for all types of books. And even though we read all types of books across all different types of genres, we want to give a disclaimer. Many of our books and a lot of our content sometimes is intended for mature audiences. And we don't believe in censorship, but we do want our listeners to have the opportunity to decide if our episode or podcast is good for them. So, with that, let's get into the episode. Hey, it's Dominique.
And Keely.
And you're listening to Booktrospective. And today we are discussing Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. Outside of today, Keely, how's your week been?
Outside of today, my week has been all right.
Oh, Keely had a birthday.
Oh,
Keely.
yeah, Sunday.
She
We
had a
didn't
birthday.
really do much, just baked and yes, and watched TV. I finished a book. Other than that, it was a pretty chill day, which was fine with me.
It was. It snowed here, so
Yeah.
otherwise I would have probably asked Keely to drag her somewhere, but it was cold, so I'm like, we'll stay home. There will be time. What have I done? I made sourdough. I made several sourdoughs. I'm a professional now. I am building the farm stand. The stuff is in the mail as we speak. So I'll just have it outside. I think I'm gonna do sourdough eggs and like simmer pots for now, and then we'll see how that goes. Other than that, I think that's it. Not much. It was Thanksgiving. Hopefully everyone had a good Thanksgiving. My mom's like oven literally went out this week, and I was like, well, thank God it waited till after Thanksgiving because she did a bulk of the the cooking. So okay, well, do you have a question?
I've not prepared one, so no.
Okay. I guess if I could think of one, it would be like, would you rather be the ghost of Christmas present, past, or future?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would probably say past, just because it seems like they get some juicy goss and yeah.
I also was gonna say past, either past or present, because I feel like they have like way more time in every like show. Like I feel like we never like you'll get like 2 seconds of future, and it's like a evil gremlin dementor kind of thing. I don't want to be that. So I think the past gets the most time, and I
Mm-hmm.
can be like, look at you. Why would you do that? Yeah, I think past. I think I'll say past also. Okay. All right. Well, do we have the blurb?
We have the blurb. He's the ghost of Christmas past. She's not exactly Scrooge. Ghost of Christmas past, Nolan Callahan intends to spend his holiday haunting like every other, get in, get out, return to his otherwise aimless existence as a ghost awaiting the afterlife. But when he's faced with Harriet York, the sweetest assignment he's ever had, he suddenly finds himself wishing for a future. Harriet York has no idea why she's being haunted. She's a good person, or at least she tries to be. A people pleaser to her core, she always does what's expected of her. But as she and Nolan begin to examine her past, they discover there are threads that bind them together and realize there might be more to moving on than expected. With the deadline of Christmas Eve fast approaching, will they find the key to their futures and each other's pasts, or will they stay firmly in the present, indulging in their unexpected, spirited connection?
Okay. All right, so just quick book facts. This is again Good Spirit. Why I cannot remember the name of this book. Like I have it takes me like a minute every time. And I don't know what I want to call it, but I just not that. So this is book one of two in what is going to be known as the Ghosted series. It is 384 pages. It just came out October 21st of this year. I think that is it. There is a audio version as well. So we have Nolan and Harriet. Nolan is a ghost. Harriet is alive. She is not a sad person. Like she is pretty much living the life she wants to lead. She's quirky, so she owns a like thrift kind of store. What do you call that?
Like
They
a
don't call
antique shop.
it antique shop. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Okay, and like that's what she loves to do, and she's festive and she has traditions. So when Nolan appears and there's like, I'm the ghost of Christmas past, she's like, "Are you here for me?" Because I'm not a bad person. Like she's not Scrooge. So they start trying to figure out like what is going on. We do know that Harriet has like a troubled home, like family life. She's estranged from her family, which is her parents and her sister. And she inherited the antique store from her aunt, who is her mom's sister, and they were also estranged. Nolan died. He was a,
Fisherman.
a fisherman. I was gonna say seaman.
I mean,
You know. So and so he died tragically. I don't know. Did it say? I feel like he's like 100 years old or something like I mean like he's been a ghost for a
yeah,
while.
he's been a ghost for a while.
And essentially like the ghosts are like there because they don't have like unfinished business, but like they can't move on yet. And he's been trying to figure out how to move on and he can't. So he shows up, whatever. They start hanging out, going through the past, and they have a thing for each other, which is interesting because he's a ghost, but he's like, you can see him. Other people can see him, but like they won't basically remember. Like you don't look like you're talking to yourself when you're talking to him. But he obviously can like appear, disappear, and like make things hot, cold, whatever, do all kinds of stuff. So they start to like each other. He really is like helping her, like be more confident in herself. She's very much of a people pleaser. She is trying to help him figure out why he can't move on because she doesn't think he's really there for her. And then, of course, it's a romance. So we know how this is going to end, but that's interesting because he's dead and she's not. So a little bit of, figuring that out. But yeah, I think that's a nice general summary. Triggers. It's lighthearted. There's not, I mean, I'm sure there's triggers, but
I
it's
mean,
not like
sexual content,
sexual content,
but
strange feelings. That's a trigger.
death, emotional abuse, toxic relationships.
Fun.
That's about it.
Okay. All right. Well, oh, wait it. Do you have a word for this book?
Ooh, festive.
I'm thinking. That's funny because I was thinking that earlier. Um, Mistletoe.
Ooh, okay.
You know. Okay, so now if you have not read this book and you don't wish to be spoiled, then you can pause here and come back later. Otherwise, we are going to get right into it. Luckily, I did not read it too long ago, so I remember a lot of some things. So we open with Harriet. It's December 1st. She like has this tradition where she goes to this bakery. She gets, I don't know if it's croissant. It's some kind of, thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But she's running late because the neighborhood mailman like is terrible at his job and he always messes up packages. So then she was trying to help him and no good deed goes unpunished. So she gets to the bakery. They don't have what she wants. They don't even have like the next best 5 things. They literally have like a donut hole or something. I don't know. It was very disappointing. So she's like, fine, whatever. And she goes to work. Again, she owns the antique shop. She has like her friend who's her only other employee, and she's trying to put up Christmas trees. She never really gets that done. Of course, people are shopping, and like I can't remember if this is right at the beginning, but at some point, like you get the most annoying customers. Like someone literally returned like a music box because it has a crack in it, but it's not like badly cracked. But she's like, yeah, because this was like loved. Like she's like, these are not new. These come from someone they're loved. And she's like, well, I mean, can you just like give me the exact same one? And she's like, no, this is an antique shop. This is not Walmart. You like these are one of a kind of things. So she like whatever. It's not the best like opening for December for her. She goes home. She's going to decorate. And then this man is just like standing in her living room. Also, she's like just very festive. She makes me think of me. Like she has like very festive pajamas. And so Nolan is the man. He appears and he's like, he's not creepy, but he's like, I'm the ghost of Christmas past. Like, I'm here to show you all your wrongdoings. And she's like, you sure? You at the right house? Because I am not a bad person. Like, maybe I speed a little or something, but like, I'm, like, I haven't done anything bad. And he's like, yeah, you're Harriet, right? Like, this is the right place. And she's basically like, okay, like, I want to speak to your manager. Like, prove to me that you're a ghost. He's like, okay. So he goes back to the ghost realm, and what is her name? Something like, I, was,
Isabel.
I think it is. I was going to say Ingrid, Inez. I knew it was an I. Um, so she is like strict program around here. He goes to talk to her, and he's like, I went to see Harriet. This is not his first rodeo. He's like, she really doesn't fit the like bill for like normal Scrooges. And she's like, I promise this is like where you need to be, like do your job, yada yada, blah blah. So he's like, okay. So he shows back up the next day. And I can't remember if this time he shows up at the store and he's like, yeah, I confirmed it. Like it's you. So that's when she starts asking him, like, okay, well, like, there's other people here. Like, does it look like I'm talking to myself? He's like, no, people can kind of see me, but then, they'll forget later. And he basically tells her, like, he has until December 24th to prove what her bad doings are or whatever, so she can get passed along to the next ghost, through Christmas or whatever. So he, like, grabs her and they go in their first memory, which I think was the first one her at the train station, or was it the snow tree cutting down
I think
something?
it was a train station. Yeah.
The train station. Okay, so he goes to take her to a memory of her and her sister when she was little, and her mom, essentially, her parents are like very well to do. Actually, her entire family is lawyers. She even went to law school and decided like that wasn't for her, and we'll get to that. But so her like very cold, not loving, and she's like at this. I don't know if they're at a train station or they're somewhere that has like a miniature train, and she's just like looking at it, being a kid, and her mom's like, "Come on," and like she's just kind of like not listening to them. Anyways, it's really wholesome. There's nothing bad that happens there, so Nolan's kind of like, like he's like, I gotta find like the bad thing. So like there really isn't anything there. Um, and they start doing this. They continue going through this, like, and then he'll show up at her house and she's like, can you knock? Like, can you not just appear? So he like disappears, goes on the outside, and she has a ring camera, which obviously he doesn't know like anything about these things. So he's like knocking and then like talking to her through the ring camera, like very like funny. He was making her tea and then like he has to go back, he goes out. So then when she finally lets him in, he's going to remake the tea. She also always is carrying around peppermints, so she can like have them. And Nolan like has an apartment. It's very weird. He has an apartment because
Yeah.
he only works obviously in December. So he like li- I'm very curious about this because like, okay, so is this like an abandoned, like what is this house like? Do people see him? Like, are my neighbors ghosts? Are they the ghosts of Christmas past and I don't know it? Because he occupies a house. He has a cat. And he basically just does nothing all year until December. So he's kind of like telling her that. He's always talking about her pajamas. Obviously, she has like all the festive pajamas, like reindeer and snowflakes. And like, he's like, what are you wearing? Like, she's like, clothes. So they go to like another memory of her cutting down a tree, very like strong-willed, independent, and like she gets the tree cut down and he's like they're just kind of talking about like how strong-willed and stuff she is, and he still cannot figure out like why is this girl on my roster, like I still can't find it. And so she is basically like, I don't think that you're here for me, I think you're here for like some other reason. And what we kind of learn like throughout this too is like we get like thoughts, like not really flashbacks, but kind of like her aunt, who I can't remember what her aunt and her mom's name or whatever is, but her aunt and her mom were estranged. And so when like as she grew up, she basically never felt loved by her parents, but especially her mom, because her mom is just like so cold and so like hard on her. And her and her sister were like really close, and they like always promised to never be like their mom and their aunt. And now, unfortunately, they're just like the mom and the aunt, which we don't really get to why until later. So keep going through flashbacks. they go to one where she is at a like a craft fair looking at like tables at junk, as her mom would say, like obviously in her element, and her mom is walking arm in arm with this man who is her ex-boyfriend, and he is a jerk. He they dated in law school basically, and of course her mom loved him, and like he even like she was even the butt of his jokes, like at their own stuff. Like it's insane. So after like going to the past, Nolan is basically like his magic. Like he doesn't really like dial in. Like it just kind of takes them wherever they want to go. Well, one of these times it takes them to, is it like a coffee shop? I'm trying to think. They take it takes them to Nolan's memories and not hers. But I can't remember if the first one is like him just at like a, it's something. I don't know. So that's never happened before. No one is kind of like freaking out. And that's really when Harriet gets the idea like, I think maybe you're here for me to help you, and maybe I can help you move on. And so he's like, he kind of like snaps at her. He's like, absolutely not. Like, that's not it. Yada, yada, yada. But also, he's like growing feelings for her during this time. She is kind of growing feelings for him. And he like magically is like decorating the store. He even makes like mistletoe pop up at one point. And I can't remember if this is when, I can't remember when their like first kisses, but one of the times when they come back, because whenever they go to the past, time like stops in the present. So no one like knows she's gone. So she comes back and they're in the store or something, and they end up in like a closet, and they're like, of course, chest to chest, and then like they end up kissing, and it's amazing. And also during this time, even though Nolan is physically there, I guess, like he can't like get injured, he can't really feel things, but he's starting to be able to do that. Like they are like, oh, she takes him ice skating at like one time, and like he's terrible at it, but he like ends up getting like he bumps his head on something, he gets a bruise, he can feel like the heat from like a fire, all kind of things that he's never been able to do, and it's like his magic is on haywire. So he goes he goes back. It makes me think of Beetlejuice, like the underworld, but it's like not like that, but it kind of is. Like he goes back to the
Yeah,
receptionist,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he's like, I need to talk to Isabella. She's like, Isabella's busy. Like there was a problem with a Grim Reaper. And she's like, what's up? And he's like, well, like my magic is on the fritz. And so then she starts asking all these questions, and he's like, but I don't want you to pull me, because she's like, well, maybe we can reassign Harry. And he's like, no, no, like I'm good. Like I don't want to reassign her. And she kind of notes like, it sure is taking you like a long time with Harriet. Like it normally doesn't take you this long. And he's like, oh, just whatever, like trying to figure this out. So he like is like, never mind, forget it. And he keeps going, like going back to Harriet. So also Harriet has a family Christmas dinner coming up, which she is like, this is how I know I'm still considered part of the family, because I get them, but that's literally the only time that she sees her family. There is a dress code, all this stuff. So like they go to the store to try on, or she goes to try on dresses. She gets stuck in one, and like Nolan has to help her out. And also he's like, I think they're supposed to wear navy. He gives her like a purple dress. I don't know. And like he's like, do whatever you want. Like who cares? And um, they, let's see, I think this is before the party. So they keep going back to memories, and they actually end up back in her memory again, and he kind of sees why she fell out with her family, which is she was at dinner with her family, and the boyfriend was there, like everyone was there, and she basically said like, I'm dropping out of law school, I don't want to do this. And or she was like, I'm thinking about dropping out, yada yada yada. And her mom's like, absolutely not, are you insane? No. And like the boyfriend's like, it's fine, like we could talk about it, like you're not gonna drop out. And she's like, well, actually I already did. I don't want to do that. And like mom's pissed, whatever. She's like, well, I mean, what are you gonna do? And she's like, I don't know, like maybe like the thrift store, whatever. And she's like, basically her mom basically has mistreated her whole life, but also is resentful of the fact that she is close to her aunt. And also her aunt died not too long ago. So her only like family member that she was close to passed away um in the present time, but in this flashback she's still alive. So that's kind of like the estranged thing. And her sister kind of just like leaves her out to dry, and is like, this like hotshot lawyer and is basically like she's the golden child. They always like seem to like her more, but she also always does exactly what they want. And in the present time, we kind of get that too because like she'll text her sister. She doesn't apologize because they do end up having words at one point, and she basically tells her sister like she's just like their mom. But in the present time, she does try to reach out. Like her sister never gets back to her. She never like she'll be like, "Oh, I'm busy at work." Like that's her basically her life revolves around that. So then we get another flash, and they go to the past, and this is Nolan's past. And there's other stuff in between here, but they basically end up on the boat. This happens before the dinner, right? I feel like this happens before the dinner because then she like kind of
I think
saves.
so because
That's why he even ends up going to the dinner because they kind of like became.
he ghosted her for a few days, I think.
Yeah. So yes. So he yeah, so they go in the past and they end up like literally on the boat as it is like sinking in the storm and all that stuff with Nolan. And which is funny because anytime they go to the past of Nolan's past, like she'll be like looking at him kind of like he's cute and he's like, don't look at him like that. But anyway, so like literally like they see Nolan drown and then Harriet also starts to drown. But he saves her and they like land back in the future, whatever, present time. And like he literally like uses his magic to like put on like pajamas and like warm her up and like all this stuff. And she's like, why did you choose these pajamas? And it's really because he's been fantasizing about her in these pajamas when he's not with her. And then he kind of like ghosts her, but they end up actually coming back together and they actually end up like officially hooking up, which causes him to like, is it snow that he like makes?
Yes.
Yeah, he like makes it snow. Like it's just magical and whatever. Oh, and the reason they kiss in the store is because he had like made mistletoe appear and like all of that. So they finally decide like we're kind of a thing. And they know like Harriet knows that this is short-lived. And also not only does he have to leave by Christmas, she won't remember him. Like the other charges he's had basically like once they disappear and go like they don't remember them. So they're basically like, I'm just gonna like take all of this, whatever. During one of these like flashbacks too, when they come back to the present, they come back into the bookstore and like they're all like canoodling and she goes out and Nolan's like, oh, I'm right behind you. But he ends up seeing on her like one of her shelves this pocket watch, which is his. It was his dad's and he had it and it's there. And he's like, great. He's like, that's probably the thing that I'm like actually here for. And so he doesn't say anything about it, but then he kind of like goes away and like ghosts her for a few days and like she doesn't know what's up. So we go forward a little bit more and they're going to the Christmas party and Nolan is actually going to go now. And like she like straightens her hair and he hates it. And he also like in the flashback at the dinner, the party, he's like, ew, like what was wrong with your hair? And she's like, I straightened it. And he's like, why would you ever do that? Because her hair is curly, like she's like a blonde, it's curly. So he like shows up, she's getting ready, and he literally like changes her hair back, like she wears the dress, which is not the color she's supposed to, like, and they go to the party. And get there, mom's pissed because you're not dressed appropriately. What's wrong with your hair? Who is this man you're bringing? You did not like RSVP a +1, all this stuff. So she's like, yeah, I don't care. Like she's basically like, I'm actually not bothered by any of their shenanigans today because no one's there. They go like they dance on the dance floor like not inappropriately, but like probably more like they're like doing a jig and it's like no one's really dancing. Like they're having the time of their life. And like she goes to talk to her sister and she basically confronts her and is like, hey, like what's up? Like I like you don't ever talk to me, you don't get back to me. And her sister's basically, I think her sister's name is Sam.
I
That
think
sounds right.
so.
It feels right. She's basically like, well, like she was like, something like Harriet's like, all you ever want to talk about is work, and Sam's like, yeah, because that's my whole life. Like all I do is work. Like that is my life, and like that's what I want. And they don't like basically say, or Harriet's like, I never thought that we would end up this way. Like I really hate that we're like this. We promised we wouldn't be like this, and they don't really reconcile. Meanwhile, Nolan has confronted her mom. And like her mom comes storming over to her and's like, can you believe what he said to me? Which he didn't say anything like nasty. He basically was like, you are losing out on having Harriet in your life. Like he basically was like, you suck. In a professional way. And so she's like really like pissy. And Harriet's like, you know what, like I'm ready to go. And her mom's like, wait, like we haven't taken the family Christmas picture. And she's like, I don't care. Because that's the only reason that she's invited. The only reason she's really invited to this is because all her mom cares about is appearances. Her dad sucks also. He does not get a pass because he basically like backs up and co-signs everything the mom says. But the only reason they invite her is because they want it to look like they're the perfect family, which they are not. And yeah, so that's basically while she's there and she's like, no, don't care. And they leave and they get home. I can't remember if they go to her apartment or to Nolan's, but they end up like hooking up again the next day. I can't remember what he calls his cat, but Nolan goes out in the kitchen, which he's like wearing her pajamas. Like it's cute. And he's like, what's my cat doing here? And she's like, that's my cat. Like what? So they have a shared cat and they didn't even realize it. Or was it her aunt's cat? It was
Her
either
aunt.
her cat. It was her aunt's cat.
I
So
think
they
she
like
was like a stray cat,
yeah, that they like
but
adopted.
later we learned that,
Yes,
yeah.
that it's Nolan's cat. And so they've been sharing a cat. Like everything's good. They're basically like making the best of these last days. So we get to Christmas Eve. They're just like watching movies and like doing Christmas Eve stuff or whatever. And she gives him a present, and it is the locket. And he is like, ugh. And she's basically like, like kind of crying, like, I found it. Like I had it, and like here, like I want you to be able to move on. Like obviously, like she doesn't want him to go, but he's a ghost. Like I want you to be able to move on, and basically, like I'm gonna try not to forget you. And I can't remember, does he just leave or does like his magic pull him back? I can't remember what it is. Somehow he's gone from there though. And he's gone. Like he's just gone. I feel like his magic pulled him back, but he's just gone. So days go by. Christmas comes and goes, days go by, and she's distraught. Her like friend is like, what's wrong with you? And she's basically like, kind of talks about Nolan, like obviously not that he was a ghost. And she's like, oh, you remember him? Because her friend's like, oh yeah, that guy I saw you with. And she's like, you remember him? Because when he leaves, everyone's supposed to forget about him. And like she hasn't forgot about him. And like the last thing, like all his magic and stuff went away, except he had lit this candle in the store and it's still burning. And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna blow it out because like I have to let him go. Like I need to move on. It was great, but whatever. So she's getting ready to blow it out, and like there's a knock at the door, and it is the mailman. And he is like, oh, like it's like 9 o'clock at night. She's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I'm just still delivering packages, like all these things, whatever. And what is it that she gets? I'm like, what's in the package? Hmm. I feel like there's something about the music box too.
Yes, it was Isabel's.
Oh, yes, because before Nolan is gone, Isabel comes to the present and she's like, oh, like I had a music box just like this, like it's hers. So that does happen at one point too. I can't remember what was in the package, and I don't feel like it was the music box. I feel like it's important. I don't know. Sorry, listeners. I can't. I'm like, what is it? Somebody spoil it for me. It'll come to me after this. I don't know. Anyway, she gets a package. So it's not. She was like hoping it was going to be Nolan. It's not. Um, Also, did she make up with her sister before or after this? Before or after Nolan comes back?
Before. No, she was gonna blow out the candle and it was her sister that came, wasn't it?
Oh. I thought she got a package and it was her sister. Because then she goes back to, and then she does blow it out, and then it's her sister.
Yes.
Okay. Well, anyways, so she gets a
Yeah.
package, whatever. Then she does go and blow out the candle, and there's another knock, and it's her sister. And her sister basically comes and is like, "I'm sorry. I'm not happy, basically. Like, I've basically been doing what they wanted this entire time. And she's like, I thought you were happy. Like, I thought you were making your own choices. And like that you were happy. And she's like, I mean, I am happy, but like, I'm also unloved and lonely because my family has like estranged me. Also, when Nolan is still here, he is like teaching her, like, especially when they hook up, like to stop saying sorry all the time and being like a people pleaser and like learn how to take compliments because she like does not do any of that well because she's not used to it. So her and her sister make up, and then we go to Nolan. Nolan has just been like sitting in a waiting room for like weeks. And he's sitting there with Isabel, and he's like, "Can I go? Like, why am I here?" Like, he's thinking about Harriet, and he's like, "You know what?" And she's like, "We're just waiting on someone." Well, they were waiting on her aunt, on and I can't remember what her name is, but they were waiting on Harriet's aunt. So she comes in, and he's like, okay. And what we learn is that Nolan has been trapped in the afterlife because him and Harriet are soulmates. And he also, before he left on Christmas, tells Harriet that he saw her. Or did he tell her after this? I think he told her before. He saw her when he was drowning. And because he always thought that she looked familiar to him. When he was drowning, it's almost like a time warp where like they're in the past, they go to the past, and like, but in the past he also saw her when she was drowning, and then in the future or whatever he saved her because it was just in the past, all that. So he saw her, and kind of like he like had been clinging onto that. So apparently they are soulmates, and Isabel's basically like, it doesn't always happen, which makes us think that Isabel had like a love and the timing didn't work out. But she's like, it doesn't always happen where it can sync up, but in your case, it did, and you basically have the option to go be in the real world with Harriet, or you can move on. So of course he chooses to go back with Harriet. So he like pops up, and he's there, and he kind of like explains it to her, and she did not forget him because he's like, he knocks at the door, he's like, "Hi, this is probably going to be strange, you probably don't know who I am." And she's like, "No," like she like grabs him and is like, "No, I haven't forgotten you," and like all this stuff. And he tells her about like the aunt, and okay. So yeah, so it basically just ends there. So she got her man. They're gonna live their life together. He is no longer dead, and it is a happy ending. And she doesn't make up with her mom, which I love that for her.
Yeah.
So the end. What'd you think?
I loved it. I rated it. Hold on. Let me make sure I am saying this correctly. Um, I always want to call it something other than Good Spirits too. I want to call it like Happy Spirits or
Something like
whatever.
I don't know why Good Spirit is not what I want to call
I
it.
rated it 4 candy canes.
I also rated it 4 candy canes. I thought it was cute. It's exactly what knew it was going to be happy ending. I like the idea because I was like the whole book like, okay, so how are we going to end up together? Because I'm like, I know they're going to
Yeah.
end up together, so I was like, well, like what are they going to do? But I love that. I love that they didn't make up with the mom. I don't think she deserves it,
Yes.
and I think that would have just been pushing it. So
I think
um,
there are a few plot holes, like how the
like the
heck he has
house,
an apartment. Yeah.
yeah, like
But overall, or like, I'm like, are people supposed to see him or not supposed to see him? Like, how do you account for, like, if people aren't seeing him, like, he has to put on, when they're ice skating, he has to put on the skates.
yeah. Well, it's like he
And,
is there, but it's just like they won't remember him. Like
mm,
he's like just not very memorable. Like he just is once he's gone, it's
yeah.
kind of like, oh, I know she was there with somebody, but like it's fuzzy kind of thing. But
Yeah, no, but it was good. But yeah, the whole apartment thing, I'm like,
that is a good question because I'm like, okay, so is this just an abandoned apartment where like who's paying the rent? Like, how does
right.
nobody go in there?
Right, because he doesn't have a job other
No, and
than,
he doesn't have like a bank
haunting.
account. Like he's not alive. I don't know. I don't know. But other than that, yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Do we have reviews?
Yes, we do. Let's see. We have less than 1%. of the ratings are 1 stars. Uh, it's 130, but less than 1% is pretty good. Um, the book is standing at a 4.2 stars on Goodreads.
Hmm.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. This one's a little longer, but it's because it's set as a list. So he said, I'm DNFing this, 1 star, DNFing this at 60%. A couple of reasons why. One, BK Borison is really bad at writing sex scenes. Needle on the cringy scope going haywire. Two, the author needs to work on her mythology. The MMC Nolan is supposed to be the ghost of Christmas past, but he's not actually a ghost, more like an immortal person with magic, which is convenient because then the author doesn't have to do any real work with the physical aspects of being a ghost, which is great, except C.1. 3, the one ghost-like thing Nolan can do is pop into Harriet's living room out of the blue, which he does, and then says, "Hey, I'm a ghost haunting you." Harriet's reaction to Nolan popping into her house out of nowhere while she's in pajamas is fine for the romance plotline, but not at all the reaction a young female alone should do when a stranger suddenly appears in her house. This was the cringiest and creepiest meet cute I ever read. 4, this book was supposed to be a sexy romantic reimagining of the classic Dickens tale. The only thing resembling a Christmas Carol is Nolan being able to magically pop Harriet into her past. Which they do, and stuff happens that isn't even remotely romantic before getting to the obligatory 60% sex scene, which C.1. And 5, Borison sets up her leading lady as a doormat, and I assume the jumping back into her past was to help her undoormat herself. But by the time I quit, there was still no connecting the dots, if that was the point of the book. Okay.
Bad review. I mean, I get it, but it
One of the better 1 star reviews that we've read.
is. It is.
Overall, like he got the point that he was saying across, that he didn't like the book, but it was also not really in a disrespectful
No,
way.
no.
So, um, let's see. Ooh, that one's long. 5 stars. Where do I sign up to have my soul audited by a hot Irish ghost? I'll I'll see you tomorrow. Never sounded so romantic. And thank you, BK Borson, for the sexy ghost representation. That's about it.
Okay. No,
But I too would like to sign up to be audited by a hot Irish ghost.
I love it. I love it. Oh. Okay. Well, it was cute. I'll have to read
Yep.
more. I like BK Borson, so all right. Well, next week is our just like our chat. So we'll just be talking like winter stuff, just whatever. Not doing our wrap up. We're gonna do that the first episode in January because it's way too early. In December we still will have lots of books, so we're just gonna kind of chit chat, and then we will be on hiatus until January something, January 12th. So, yeah, I'm getting ready to enjoy the holidays, but we will talk to you guys next week, and I think that's it.
That's it.
Bye.
Bye.